Joseph Habedank is an award-winning singer, songwriter, and has an incredible story to tell. For over 2 decades, Joseph has been honored with multiple GMA Dove Awards, including Southern Gospel Artist of the Year, and has been named Soloist of the Year multiple times by Singing News and other media outlets. Beyond his chart-topping songs lies a testimony of grace and redemption. I was privileged to sit down with Joseph at the National Quartet Convention to talk one-on-one, and I know you'll be as blessed as I was to hear the heart behind his music. Well, he needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. We are here at the Quartet Convention with the amazing Joseph Habedank.
Thank you so much for having me.
Being here.
I love this lady.
So great to have you. Joseph, you are, what award have you not won? You're a
I haven't won a Grammy.
Multi-award winning, well, put that on the list.
Yeah.
Multi-award winning artist, and people just love you. I love you. I love your story. I want to talk about that today. So thank you for taking the time.
It's my honor.
To come by.
Thank you for,
appreciate you so much.
I think I have to be a real, for those of you that are listening, we are in pink chairs talking on a pink microphone, and I feel extremely masculine right now. So
and he is so secure in that manhood.
I'm
going to add that.
I wore a pink shirt on
Yes, he did last
Tuesday night.
Yes, you did. Last night, I thought about that when I was watching
sure
you.
did.
I thought he's going to fit right in. Joseph, I'm just going to ask you straight out of the box, how do you stay so spiritually grounded? Because we see that when you step on a stage, you are so spiritually grounded. You are such in a place of worship. You are so powerfully ministering. But how do you stay so spiritually grounded when you've had all this success?
I would say I haven't always been spiritually grounded. I think it was in the last few years I just started really getting serious about my walk with Christ, and it's not that I was not serious about it before. I just wanted to go deeper. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to wade in deeper waters. So I had never read through the whole Bible. I'd read the Bible my whole life, but I never read it front to back. So 3 years ago, I started doing that, and I've done it. It's my third year in a row. So I think that, it sounds so, I want to say trivial, but it sounds like a basic thing. But the Word of God is such a powerful thing, man. I mean, when you hide it in your heart, I will listen to it while I'm at the gym. Charlie Kirk talked about this, how you layer things. If you're going to be successful, you got to do 2 different things at once sometimes, 3 different things. So when I go to the gym, I'll listen to the Bible and I'll read it as I'm running or as I'm walking or whatever. And I think that, being in church when I can, Lindsay and I, we always watch the Brooklyn Tabernacle when we can't be in church. So we love the Brooklyn Tabernacle, Pastor Cymbala.
Yes.
That helps us tremendously. But I will say this, it's a real challenge to stay grounded because, when you're constantly singing and trying to minister to other people, sometimes you get empty. And so I think you have to be very intentional about your walk with Christ. Otherwise, bad things happen.
It's good. Intentional is a good word.
You have to be intentional.
I remember the first time, too, I ever walked into the Brooklyn Tab, and I was singing in New York, and I sat down, and I just started weeping.
Oh, it's a spirit.
Sobbing. And people said, what is wrong with you? I said, you don't feel that?
Yeah, there's something in there.
It is a place that just, you can't explain it.
Mm-hmm. The Spirit of God is, it doesn't change, right? It's the same. But there's some places it's thicker than others.
Yes.
And he is so welcome in that place, I think. He shows up where he's welcome.
And people know wherever they are in their life, and we're going to get to that in just a minute, they can walk through those doors.
No judgment.
And they're going to be met right where they are.
Exactly.
Love it. Well, so many people maybe who don't travel on the road think this is such the glamour life. By a bus, they said it'll be fun. They said.
I haven't eaten today, and it's 8 o'clock, so it's super glamorous, this life. Yeah, I've been up for 12 hours. I have not eaten a meal.
And you did just buy a bus recently.
I did,
yes.
I'm broke. Yeah.
So
thanks for
give
asking.
to the Joseph Habedank Fund. So he
Yes.
can pay the bus payment. But so many times we're walking through real life stuff, and you and I have kind of talked about a little bit about that off camera. But for example, you lost your grandmother.
Yeah.
And you still had to step on a stage.
Yeah.
And you still had to minister to people, and you still had to pour out when you were in a place where you might have felt empty or thinking, I don't really feel like doing this today.
Yeah, actually,
How do
all
you do
four of my grandparents died while I was on the road. All four of them. And I think, you know what I think is interesting? You could look at that as a negative, right? Which is, oh man, how do you do that? It's so hard. I think that's when God uses you the most, when you're broken, when you're vulnerable, when you're emotional, because what happens is you become more sensitive. And when you become more sensitive, you become more sensitive to Him. The Bible talks about His strength is perfect, right? Our strength is gone. His strength is perfect. And so I think that's why in those moments, it's not you. You're not in control. It's Him. And He's always in control. But sometimes I like to try to take it back. You know what I mean?
Oh, me too. And
that never works out well.
No,
never works out well.
Don't do that. It's weakness. And it's that place where you think, I can't do this. Well, but He says, when you're weak, I'm strong.
Yeah.
And that's what pours out through us. Let's talk music for just a minute.
Yeah.
You know, I am very fond and passionate about autobiography. Because
me too.
We have, and I'm forever thankful that you wrote that song or that you wrote that project.
Yeah.
Because it has a song on there, and you and I have had this conversation off camera. But I want to talk a little bit about that, and I'm way too vain to cry in person and on camera, but my mascara might run.
Please cry. No, I'm teasing. Okay.
Because it's ministered to somebody in my family who has struggled with addiction. And walk us through the journey, Joseph. Just walk us through the journey that led to those life-changing lyrics on that project.
Yeah, so I was a church kid growing up and joined a group singing when I was 17. I had an ulcer on my throat, got hooked on painkillers, and lost my job. All I ever wanted to do. And it's funny, I thought that was the end, right? But that was actually the beginning of my story, because that's when God stepped in and changed everything. It changed my life. I went to treatment for 30 days, got out, did 5 weeks of outpatient treatment. And then my counselor, his name is David Sappington, I said, what do I do now? I just go home? I said, I don't really know. He said, why don't you go to 90 recovery meetings in 90 days? And so I did. I went to 90 meetings in 90 days, and I got a sponsor, and I started doing the work, and I started listening to other people speak. Then I started speaking, and I started sponsoring other people. And then fast forward about 8 or 9 years later, when I'd been clean 8 or 9 years, and I was sitting in a room on Music Row with Michael Farron and Tony Wood, and I said, I keep seeing a basement. And here's the crazy thing about the basement. Usually I've got a note section on my phone. I write down all my ideas in there, and I take them in the room, and I say, these are my ideas. That didn't happen basement day. I was literally sitting in a chair looking out the window, and I said, I see a basement. And, of course, the guys were like, okay, because they're trying to follow what I'm thinking. I said, these recovery meetings, they're in the basements of churches. And Michael Farron said, on any given Sunday, and we started writing it. And so if you ever heard the basement or haven't heard the basement, it's about those recovery meetings that take place in the basements of churches. And it's basically about a church kid who grows up knowing what happens upstairs in the sanctuary and acknowledging the fact that it is amazing what happens upstairs. Never want to discount what happens upstairs. And yet, sometimes God does His best work in the unseen places, in the basement, where nobody's watching except for maybe 15, sometimes 10 people in a circle. Some of them are drunk. Some of them smell like a cigarette. Some of them are high on meth. Some of them are weeping. Some of them are angry. Some of them are emotional, and yet somehow Jesus sits right down in the middle of it, and it says, "Hey, I'm here. Like these are my people."
Yeah,
because that's who Jesus hung out with.
It's so
he
good.
hung out with the sinners and the outcasts, and Mary
so
Magdalene
good.
was not a great lady.
Yeah,
she was a prostitute. Judas was not a great guy. He was a traitor. Peter was not a great guy. These are the people he hung out with. And so when I sit in those rooms, I don't feel like Jesus. I feel like one of the outcasts. Yeah. And that's okay, because I think some people, they get mixed up and they think, well, Jesus hung out with the bad people. I can hang out with the bad people. You're forgetting who you are in the story. You're not Jesus. We're the outcasts, and He's chosen to welcome us in to His fold.
It's really good.
So I love the basement. I thank you for your encouragement about that song, and I'll be honest, a lot of people I think have been encouraged by that song, but when it comes from someone who has been touched by it, it's different. It's different. So thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
acknowledging it.
I think that this is something that is, in my opinion, not talked about enough in the church.
Addiction.
Addiction.
Yeah.
I think addiction, there's so much shame that is pressing people down
Mm-hmm.
between, if maybe it's a family member who loves an addict, maybe it is the addict, and it's just not talked about enough. And so there's this hidden component where people hide, and the hiding is where it continues. And if the church, if we would just embrace that and say, because we all have struggles, we all have places of things that we're walking through. It is no different. We all sin differently.
We're all broken.
All broken. And so if there's someone watching, and I believe there is, that they say, hey, Joseph, maybe that worked for you. Maybe you got there, but I just don't know that God's really going to do this for me. What would you say to them?
You know, one of the biggest things I get asked this question a lot. If you could say one thing to an addict, an alcoholic, or even a family member, talk to somebody, tell somebody. It's one of the hardest things you can do is say,
No secret.
hey, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
We don't want to ask for help, right? Help's a 4-letter word to a human.
That's right.
You know, we don't want to say, we don't need help. We want to do it all on our own.
No.
But at the moment you bring something from the darkness into the light, it loses its power. So if you go, let's say it's your pastor. Let's say maybe you don't have a pastor. Maybe you don't go to church. Maybe it's your mom. Maybe it's your best friend. Maybe it's your girlfriend. Maybe it's your boyfriend. Maybe it's your fiance. Sit down with one person and say, hey, I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed, but I think I got a problem. Instantly, something will happen. And that doesn't mean you're going to be freed instantly. It may be a journey. But the moment you bring something from the darkness into the light, it loses its power.
Lindsay was a huge part of your recovery.
Still is, yeah.
And still is, because it's a daily thing. We know.
Yeah. 4,500 days later. It's a day at a time. Yeah.
It's one day at a time. And Lindsay's been such a big part of supporting you, encouraging you to move forward. What would you say to family members who are watching that say, I'm trying, I've prayed, I've done all I can do, and they're just not listening or they're not getting it? What would you say to the family?
I think I would say God's timing is not our timing. And this is going to sound weird. Mm-hmm. It takes as long as it takes. And what I mean by that is it's different for everybody. Just because you go to treatment, go to rehab, doesn't mean you're going to, it might take 5 times. It took me 1 time. That's rare. That rarely happens. And the biggest thing I would tell somebody who loves somebody who's walking through this is this. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You can't control it. You can't cause it. And you can't cure it. You can't. It's not on you. It's on me, the addict, or them, whoever they are. It's our job. It's our responsibility. And yes, we can have support. Lindsay's been an amazing support. But she learned early on, if he relapses, that ain't on me. That's on me. It's not on her if I relapse. It's not on you if the person in your life relapses. We're responsible for our own actions. So I would say don't carry around the guilt, and don't let their sickness become your sickness. Because a lot of times what happens is the addict makes everybody else sick because they're sick. It becomes contagious.
And we get sicker than the addict
does.
does.
You do.
We get into it.
It's crazy.
That codependency.
Yeah. Codependency is another form of addiction, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Let's talk songwriting. You have been so many amazing songs, BMI awards. You have such a gift for songwriting, Joseph. Maybe there's somebody watching that says, I'm a songwriter. I want to write. I write songs, but I want to get it out there. I want to do this. I want to do this for a living. Joseph, you're doing it. You're so successful. You've had all these, award-winning songs. What would you say to somebody who's a songwriter who's watching and says, what do I do?
So there's a place, there's a workshop. Happens in Nashville. Every year. It's worth every penny. It's called Write About Jesus.
Yes.
And whether you're a Christian writer, it's for Christian writers, but you can be a country writer, whatever, just a writer. Sue Smith is one of my co-writers. She runs it. It's probably, I would say, 200, 300, 400 people. Songwriters show up every year just to learn
amazing.
The crap. You've been?
It's amazing.
You know, you've been. Yeah. Is that where we met?
No, we met at a concert when you first started singing.
Okay.
I looked and said, "Who is this guy? He is amazing."
He's horrible.
No, he's amazing.
But yeah, writeaboutjesus.com. I'm telling you, if you want to be a songwriter, everything I could tell you in this podcast would not touch what you're going to learn in 3 days there. So writeaboutjesus.com if you want to be a songwriter. Somebody just came and asked me this last night, and I said the same thing. I say the same thing every time because I believe in Sue. I believe in her mission to help writers, and I think it's a community of songwriters. You can find your co-writers there.
Yes,
you
that's
know?
good.
And if you don't want to co-write, you can still learn how to rhyme and how to melodically structure your songs. And it's a great place.
Music. Talk to us about what's coming. Talk to us about what you're working on. What can we look forward to?
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to release a tribute album to Stephen Curtis Chapman called The Great Adventure. A tribute to Stephen Curtis Chapman.
This is the great adventure.
So his producer...
You weren't even born yet when that came out, by the way.
No, I was. I was my childhood.
What year were you born?
I was born in 85.
They are too cute. I graduated from high school that year.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I know. I'm old. Go ahead and say it out loud.
I won't call you mom.
Heavenly Days. Isn't he cute? He's
so
a cute little thing.
I was probably 10 years old when The Great Adventure came out.
Love it.
Yeah. I was a big fan.
That's so exciting. That is so fun. I've been watching it.
I'm
what
excited.
did you tell him about?
Yeah.
Can you tell him a little bit about it? What's on there?
So what happened was his producer, I was on Facebook Live years ago, and his producer's name is Brent Milligan. And he said, hey, I was talking about my producer. He said, I want to do an album with you. And I was like, Brent,
Wow.
is this the same Brent Miller? So I reached out. I said, were you serious? I said, yeah. So fast forward 5 or 6 years later, he said, hey, I was serious. I want to do an album. I said, what if we did a Stephen Curtis tribute album? He said, I love it. Let's do it. So I said, there's only one way I'll do it. You have to ask him if it's okay for us to do it. Took him a few months. And I got a big long text from Stephen saying, you have my blessing. I'm so honored. Stephen sings on the album.
Oh my gosh.
He plays guitar on the album.
So good.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
It's going to be so good.
Pretty fun.
Okay, let's have some fun. Rolex or Timex?
Rolex.
Cowboys or Packers?
Packer.
If you could go back and tell your 20-year-old self anything that you wish you would have known then that you don't know that you know now, what would it be?
You know, I would say don't take drugs, but honestly, that was the best thing that ever happened to me, right? So, I mean, I really can't do that. I think I would say don't give up. It's going to get better.
That's good.
Just hold on. It's going to get better.
Keep going.
It's going to get better.
Maybe there's somebody watching today that says, Joseph, I hear you. I see your life. It's just amazing. You have this beautiful marriage. You have this beautiful career. You're so talented. You're so handsome. You're so all these things. But my life is falling apart. They're watching and they say, I don't know how I'm going to make it. I don't know how I'm going to get there. Maybe they're sick. Maybe they've lost someone.
Yeah.
Maybe they're struggling with addiction today. Maybe they love someone who's an addict. Encourage them to close this out. What would you say?
I would say the biggest thing we feel in those moments is isolation. And let me just tell you the truth. What you see, outfit, hair, whatever you see, that you might think, man, he's got it all together. I wake up every morning with probably the same stuff you do, which is anxiety, sometimes fear, sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I have health problems, sometimes I have good days and bad days. Everybody is the same. We are all walking, just because I'm on a platform or maybe I'm winning an award or whatever. We're all walking through something. So just remember, you are not alone. And this is not to discount what anybody's walking through. Somebody's walking through something a lot darker than you are. And so don't give up. I think the worst thing we can do is we start feeling sorry for ourselves and we start thinking, man, why is this happening to me? It's not happening just to you. It's happening to a lot of people. A lot of people are walking through some dark stuff. You are not alone. You are loved. You are chosen. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and God has a plan for your life. And so I think it's just really easy to remember. I think when something goes wrong on my bus, the first thing I think is, man, all my artist friends have these buses and nothing ever goes wrong. And the next thing I hear is somebody's broke down on the side of the road. But in the moment, I feel like it's just me.
Just you.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's just me. And the truth is, what I've learned is it's everybody. Everybody walks through hard stuff. Everybody goes through anxiety. And that's not to say, you know, if you've lost a child, for instance, I've never walked through that, but I've walked through I almost lost I almost lost everything because of my addiction. There are people out there that have lost their children. People are walking through the same stuff you are. So don't give up. You're not alone. And you're not alone because of Jesus. So that's the most important thing.
You have the hope because of Jesus.
We have hope. That's right.
And now you know why everyone loves Joseph Habedank. Joseph, I love you too.
I love you too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Still pink.
Thank you.